Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the Schmoes Know, this is Meet the Movie Press, roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
That is right. Happy Friday, everyone. This is Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network. I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com.
Jeff Sneider, film reporter, therap.com.
And that is right. We are the top industry professionals bringing you the news.
It doesn't get any bigger than us, Mark.
The ceiling is here. And if you are watching at home, you see my hand is very low and my head is above it. That's how good we are. I don't know what that means, but that's what we're doing. And happy Friday, as I said. Jeff, how are you?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
Late night last night.
Me too.
Was party hopping, schmoozing, but it was a good time.
Was it Jurassic World party hopping?
No, the Rap had its pre-Emmy party last night.
Oh, that's right.
So I got some quality time in with guys like David Wayne and Ethan Embry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I went over to the Burying the X after party because that had its premiere last night.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You were party hopping. I was on the Schmoes Know podcast, just sitting around, just kind of.
That sounds like fun though too. Those
it's
guys
fun.
are a party on their own.
Yeah, we are. We didn't have any beer last night though, so you know that happens. But we were talking about the ultimate schmodown, and I'm hoping that maybe you get to jump in on there.
I hope to receive an invite.
Yes,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens because they're pairing them up now. But man, guys, thanks for joining us on the YouTube chat, the live chat. We're on youtube.com/popcorn talk. You can jump in there, drop in some comments, whatever you want to talk about. And be sure, as always, to subscribe, rate, comment, share with your friends this Meet the Movie Press podcast on iTunes. We're kicking butt over there.
Yeah, let iTunes know how much you love us.
Please do. And guys, before we start, because of what we're doing here at the Popcorn Talk, we want your help. Now, we love hearing from you, and so keep sending your tweets. We read all of them. We do read them all. And we want you to take a very important listener survey about Meet the Movie Press and the shows on Popcorn Talk. You need to go to podcast1.com. That's podcast1. ONE, not the number one, podcast1.com. Your response is going to help us make the show the very best it can be. You can tell us how you really feel about the show. Help us to get you know better, and do it now. Take the survey at podcast1.com and keep those tweets coming. We will read them all, and as we do on YouTube sometimes, we will read it live. So, Jeff, what the hell is out there now?
Boy, where to start?
I know.
I think we should dive right in. You know what? Let's start with Marvel.
Okay.
Let's start with TV news. John Bernthal cast as the Punisher in season 2 of Daredevil.
I was jumping for joy.
Didn't see a negative tweet about it.
Nope.
Everyone was on board. It's awesome casting. John Bernthal is a badass.
Yep.
And so he's a great fit as the Punisher, and he's the perfect level of celebrity for that character, I think.
Absolutely. And I mean, I sent out a tweet because Tom Hardy comes out and he says, "Oh, I'd love to be Punisher," and everybody starts.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Hardy's not going to be the fucking Punisher.
No, Tom Hardy is not going to be the Punisher. Yet everybody's like, "Hey, he's going to do it," and. Look, Marvel's just so good at what they do. They're, like I said, everybody was making Tom Hardy memes as the Punisher, and Marvel's sitting back going, yeah, well, that's nice, little guys.
In this day and age, it's like anything that a celebrity says is considered news.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
These celebrities, you have to understand the context of these interactions. They get put on the spot at carpets and people just coming up to them with iPhones, asking them bullshit questions like that. What are they supposed to say?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to play the Punisher. Fuck the Punisher. What a dumb character.
Yeah.
I'd love to play the Punisher. That's what they would all say.
Yeah, and it becomes a story, and then, we're covering it, and then people speculate, and I get it. I love Tom Hardy as well, especially his MySpace photos.
Yeah. But Johnny Bernthal.
Yeah, he's perfect. He was fantastic in Walking Dead of Shane. I'm sorry, when he came out, and he's good in Fury. Wolf of Wall Street, I thought he was he stole every scene he was in, and he is the perfect Punisher.
Yeah,
he really is.
I think it's great, and I know, I think it was El Mayimbe who had written sort of about Marvel's plans to sort of introduce characters in their TV shows and then sort of set them up as like backdoor pilots kind of thing. So maybe we will get a full-fledged Punisher series starring Jon Bernthal down the line.
I think so.
Right now, he's going to be sort of sharing Hell's Kitchen territory. With Daredevil.
I'm
which
hoping.
is awesome.
I'm hoping that he actually plays the antagonist to start.
Yeah, I don't know how where he fits in the series.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing what I know of the source material, with especially Daredevil, I feel that there are two conflicting idealisms between Daredevil and Punisher that are going to be great television if they do it.
It was perfect casting.
Yeah.
And quick plug, Bernthal co-stars in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, which comes out today, and if it is in a city near you, it is the best English language movie I've seen all year.
Wow, that's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
I might have to do 2 movies this week, and of course I'm seeing Jurassic World tonight. Have you seen it already?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
I did. I really liked it. I was impressed. As someone who grew up on those movies and was in awe when I was 9 years old of Jurassic Park, I thought it captured the spirit very well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
It was not nearly as good as that first film, which is a classic.
But it's hard to be. That's
I mean, that's Spielberg and everything, but it's better than the other 2 sequels, I thought.
Yeah, that's round the board what I'm hearing, and I'm easy when it comes to Jurassic Park. I mean, that hit the sweet spot for me, and so I've grown up. This has been one of my most anticipated, because it's just dinosaurs eating people. Yes,
I didn't have the highest expectations. Maybe that played a part in it.
Maybe, yeah,
and because it did exceed those expectations. I read a review like Devin Faraci's, and he was quite down on the movie. And like I still find myself like nodding my head in agreement with some of his points.
Sure.
But I do think that, and I'm not speaking about Devin here, but I do think some critics sort of got carried away.
Yeah.
Some people piled on, looking at the different themes and issues that the movie's dealing with, and I just kind of went in and had a fun time with it. I wasn't looking for like a real deep analysis.
Yeah, there's dinosaurs, and they're going to eat. I mean, a pterodactyl picks up a woman and drops it in the tank of a bigger dinosaur that's going to eat it. I mean, that we're not talking about like metaphors of like race relations here.
What does that mean that the dinosaur is eating a woman?
No,
Why?
they're hungry.
And I've read so many goddamn stories about Bryce Dallas Howard's high heels in this movie. Like, you know what? It's a fucking movie. Get over it.
Yeah, and she's playing a character. So, I mean, I'm imagining she's going to get eaten. I don't know, but I mean, if she's wearing those high heels,
yeah,
I don't know.
I took a bunch of crap, this week for speaking the truth, if you will, and Twitter doesn't like when you fall out of line.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, Twitter. I thought you could have really good conversations.
Yeah. It's the perfect platform for a discussion about race and gender issues.
Exactly. Oh, boy.
I just analyze films a little bit differently, perhaps.
I get it. I do it, too.
But speaking of Marvel, hopping back there for a second, there was more news with Deadline, the site that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Apparently confirming that Chiwetel Ejiofor is part of Doctor Strange and that he's going to be playing Baron Mordo.
Yeah. I don't know Doctor Strange comics at all. These characters, like the ancient one with Tilda Swinton, I was like, okay, I think I know who that is, and so I just love him. So great.
Well, here's what I remember from originally reporting that he was circling that movie. We'd heard that he was going to be playing the villain.
Right.
And sources had cautioned us not to frame it as the villain.
The villain. Okay.
And Deadline's story kind of indicated that it seems like he's going to start off as a colleague of Strange, and maybe he goes over to the dark side or something, either by the end of the movie or over an arc of two or three movies. I don't know if there's going to be Doctor Strange sequels. Obviously, that'll depend on how it performs. But
I'm sure they're looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to create these films with that in mind, that possibility.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of what they were alluding to. It doesn't sound like he's going to be the main villain of the movie,
right? But
by the end, he may switch sides.
That's cool. I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot. That's a comic book movie to the T. I mean, these characters turn to villains all the time, Bucky and Winter Soldier, and there's a lot out there. I mean, even Green Lantern, Sinestro, and then he becomes the Yellow Lantern, and they never got to play that out though.
And I think he's going to be a real interesting villain. I've actually heard really good things about Ejiofor in 999.
Oh,
the
yeah.
crime drama coming out at the end of the year with Casey Affleck.
Oh, man.
So yeah,
That's cool.
I between him and Benedict and Tilda, that's a hell of a cast.
I know. I was just going to comment. We got a hell of a cast there.
Yeah.
I still wish Joaquin Phoenix did it. I still am in that camp.
Yeah, no, me too.
It would have been
Me too.
so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Benedict, gee, no, I'm not going to shake my fist at all. That guy's amazing. But, when you picture
Joaquin would have been cool.
Yeah,
for
it would
sure.
have been cool. So, yeah, well, that's cool. Any more Marvel? I mean, is there any kind of updates out there on, a certain Spider-Man?
Oh, that. Yeah, let's dive in. Okay.
I figure we want to stay on Marvel. Then I want to talk about one thing about Ant-Man and see if you heard anything. But go on to your Spider-Man.
All right, it's time to talk Spider-Man, guys.
Okay.
So gather around the campfire.
Oh, boy, everyone. Drop in some comments here on the live chat.
Oh, boy.
Spider-Man.
Here we go. So I heard earlier this week in calling around, about the short list of those 6 actors that THR had mentioned. I learned that they had narrowed it down to 3.
Okay.
And those 3, from what I had heard, were Tom Holland,
Okay.
Charlie Plummer, Matthew Lintz, not Asa Butterfield.
Asa.
I hear that Asa Butterfield is no longer in contention for Spider-Man.
Wow. Okay.
Here's the way it was sort of described to me was that Marvel likes Charlie Plummer. Mm-hmm. Sony likes Tom Holland.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And I still think Amy Pascal is, wants Nightwolf or whatever. But
right.
But the big question here, either way, the reason that you haven't seen a decision yet is they seem to be at odds, Marvel and Sony.
Uh-oh.
Now, Marvel is sort of the creative lead, as we've heard on this.
As they should be.
That's why they got brought in, because Sony trusts them. Clearly, the marketplace trusts them. They've made some good decisions. On the other hand, Sony's footing the bill.
Right.
Sony is paying for this movie, not Marvel.
Right.
So when it's your money on the line, you want, your say to matter.
You kind of have the veto power.
So here's the thing. It's like, do you want a 14 or 15-year-old? I don't know how old Charlie Plummer is. 14, 15 years old, let's say, because he creatively fits the story that you want to tell.
And then you have more legs, right?
Or do you want a guy like Tom Holland, who we know is a great actor? We've seen him in The Impossible, and I've heard that he's also excellent in Ron Howard's movie In the Heart of the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard really good things about that. He's 19. So the advantage that you have there, while you can always get an older actor to pass younger.
For like 14, 15.
That
14 might be tough.
Yeah, we all buy it, though, when 30-year-olds play college students and things like that. To me, it's about, it has to be a factor, the production schedule. If you are going to work a full day, you have to be 18 or older.
Yep.
If you're under 18, you're a minor and you cannot work a full day. I don't know how long you can work. Maybe it's like 6 hours.
It's like increments, and I've heard that you have to take breaks and be schooled by not schooled like, you better learn, but like, homeschooled, like here are your studies.
Right.
So it does kind of handicap the production.
Although it is the summer. These kids wouldn't be in school anyways.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Neither do I, but I would just be very surprised if they went with a 14, 15-year-old who nobody really knows. No one knows if they can handle a movie of this size.
Yeah, and this is the big one.
Guys, I really think we're looking at Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
All right.
That is my prediction.
I'm okay with it. I said this last week, and then of course, segued right into Spider-Man. Ooh, do you want to talk Spider-Man? I'm kind of tuning out, but I love these updates because when you give me something like that, I'm like, okay, great. Now let's just see it.
I'm kind of tuning out too, but it's funny when I did that first shortlist story and I was all ready to roll. Right before I published, someone got in touch and they were like, "Don't forget Tom Holland."
Okay.
So he was the last name that I added to that initial list. And yeah, clearly there is a lot of interest in him.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know who's driving that interest, whether it's Kevin or Amy or Tom Rothman at Sony, but guys, it's just that's what my spidey senses are saying.
They're tingling.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Do you think Sony and Marvel will play nice and come to a really good creative collaboration to make this happen, or is there going to you're saying they're at sort of odds? I wouldn't go so far. I know in the chat room they're like, damn it, Sony, shit, Sony. And it's like, it might not be Sony's fault. It could just be some.
It's nobody's fault. I mean, this is the creative process, guys.
Yeah.
You've got, some big personalities, some very strong voices in that room, of the decision makers. So,
yeah.
Again, with Kevin and Marvel involved, I think we've learned, just trust them.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Whether they cast a 14-year-old kid who we've never really seen before, or Tom Holland, or whatever. But from what I'm hearing, I just think if it was Asa, it would be Asa by now. It would have been done.
Yeah.
Easy decision.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
especially
I hear he's out.
Yeah, especially since they're bringing everyone down to screen test at Civil War. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it should be done too, but we'll see. I guess we got to wait longer.
That's the Spider-Man stuff. But we're not done with Sony today.
No, we're not.
That is, more in the world of rumor and speculation.
Okay.
This is still rumor and speculation, but a little bit more assured.
I know where you're going with this, and I'm excited.
Yes. So,
okay, guys, get ready for this one.
This week there was news that Christopher Hemsworth, a.k.a. Thor, has joined the Ghostbusters movie that Paul Feig is doing at Sony.
Yes.
He is going to be playing the receptionist.
Yes.
He's not going to be playing Janine, obviously.
No.
But the receptionist was played by Annie Potts in the original. And
there's a lot of people, including me. My managing editor, Alex Welsh, hated the casting. And I didn't think it was going to go to him putting on glasses and being nerdy. Mm-hmm. I kind of immediately flashed to his part in Vacation, thinking he's going to be the hot guy that the girls swoon over maybe, but you are hearing
We're hearing
something.
otherwise. So,
great.
Justin Kroll, when he did his story about Hemsworth joining, he said that they had approached Hemsworth for the role, and he turned it down, and then they went back and rewrote it and beefed it up a little bit and made it, maybe more palatable for an actor. Mm-hmm. So that prompted me to ask around or whatever. And from what I'm hearing, Chris Hemsworth, they're going to pull a little Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis action on Chris Hemsworth. If you recall in the first film, Sigourney Weaver's body was taken over by an evil presence, a supernatural force, if you will.
Gozer.
That's right.
Zool.
Ooh.
It's Zool. There is no Dana, only
Now,
Zool.
I don't know who the villain is in Ghostbusters.
Right.
But from what I hear, you are going to see that happen with Chris Hemsworth, that his body will be taken over in some respect, and he may very well find himself up against the Ghostbusters, or the Ghostbusters perhaps have to save him.
Okay.
I don't know if they would, battle him or save him, but there is more than meets the eye
that I like
going on there.
I can get behind that, and I kind of somebody turned me around. I'm trying to remember who said this, but with Paul Feig, you kind of just trust him. He's kind of proved himself to know what he's doing. So with Ghostbusters, we hope that that's true.
Whoa, we have breaking news here on the show, guys.
Oh my God, hold on.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, everybody. I love it when this happens on Meet the Movie Press.
Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight will premiere in 70mm on Christmas Day before going... following the 2-week engagement,
Okay.
of a roadshow tour or whatever, the film will open with a theatrical digital release nationwide
Okay.
on January 8th.
Okay, so we're getting a 70mm print on Christmas Day.
For 2 weeks.
Well, Christmas Day, I know what I'm doing. I'm seeing Star Wars, and then I'm seeing that. I'm kidding.
Well, I was like, you will have probably already seen Star Wars 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, probably.
by Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But man, Christmas is getting crazy now.
I know. You know what they need to do? Move Point Break the hell away from that frame.
Totally.
It's going to get eaten alive. Goodbye.
Christmas, The Hateful Eight, and The Revenant on the same day.
Oh, that's right. The Revenant, I can't wait.
Nuts.
That's and you got Star Wars in the mix there too. I mean,
shit.
My jokes aside, but you got those 3 movies. Point Break. If you're listening, Alcon, I think you need to just move it. Put it in January or February.
And if I was Fox, honestly, I'd move Joy too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Fox is doing opening Joy and The Revenant on the same day.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Not that, the audience is totally different.
why cannibalize your own marketplace?
Yeah, that's true. And The Revenant will get business because of DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, and, I mean, come on. The director is coming up Birdman.
When you guys see the footage that I saw at CinemaCon, it's going to blow your fucking minds.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But yeah, so that Chris Hemsworth thing, pretty exciting.
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense. I don't think you're just going to see him answering phones. I think he's going to have a lot more to do in that movie.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I guess immediately my mind went to like kind of stunt casting and just being like, here's hottie Thor, being the man. The man candy, which I do like the role reversal. That was my nickname
in high school, by the way. Man
was it
Candy.
Really? I can see that. I can totally see that.
It was the other way. It was Candy Man. My family's in the candy business.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm down with that. I'm very much down with that.
Yeah.
So
let's stay at Sony again. Let's just keep talking about Sony.
Go. I like this.
This one was announced prematurely. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened. News that Joe Carnahan is going to write Bad Boys 3 with an eye towards directing.
Interesting.
What do we think, Mark?
Please don't hate me, Internet. I know sometimes you do, but Bad Boys, not a big follower of the franchise. Seen them? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like them? Sure. I think it's where Michael Bay does his best work, in my opinion, because you know what you're getting. Like, I don't have to think real hard, and it's actually fun action, not Transformers bullshit. Mm-hmm. So with Carnahan, I happen to love his A-Team.
Interesting.
I loved his A-Team. Okay. So I kind of like his sensibilities for this. It makes me think I would actually care more about a Bad Boys if he made it a little more grittier, and a little more kind of hard.
I think he will. I think Michael Bay, is kind of glossy sheen to everything.
He's the bubblegum popcorn guy.
I would love to see Joe Carnahan take this in like a Narc direction.
Thank you. Right?
Narc is a fucking masterpiece.
Narc is a masterpiece. Yes, it is. So if you get like a really hard-hitting crime drama with a little bit of humor from Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, okay, yeah, I'm in.
And I think this is pure speculation on my part. Mm-hmm. I think any Bad Boys movie, it's time to pass the torch, because I think it's a great title. It's a good brand.
Yeah. I think so.
I think that they should keep it African American. I think it's one of the. There's very few successful African-American franchises that aren't like Think Like a Man or Barbershop, things like that. So I'd like to see them stay in that direction, and I think somehow you got to get Michael B. Jordan in this movie.
Oh, that's a great call.
I mean,
yeah, that's a great call.
Whether he's, Martin Lawrence's kid, which would be hilarious. It's like towering over Martin Lawrence.
That'd be funny.
Something or other, but yeah, it's time.
I think that's a great call, and what was I going to say?
How many more of these can those guys do?
Yeah, well, I mean, Will Smith, I was actually a little surprised. I guess he has a fond place in his heart for it because it's kind of his thing.
Sure, it launched him. I love the original Bad Boys. Like, I know you were saying,
it's good.
Kind of indifferent.
I like it.
People love Bad Boys 2 because it's kind of like ridiculous and crazy. I was never a huge fan of Bad Boys 2, but that first Bad Boys with Tay Leone.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, it's just, it's one of those...
Luke and Duke.
Everybody's doing the, guilty movie pleasure. Josh McCouga, host of Guilty Movie Pleasures on here on the Popcorn Talk Network, is loving this news, I'm sure. Or maybe not. I don't know what his thoughts are on, Carnahan doing it, because like I said, and you're saying it could Narc. I mean, that is serious stuff.
The Gray was great too. I mean,
the Gray is so good.
Joe has had some stumbles. Like, I'm not like Stretch was.
I didn't see Stretch.
It was real bad.
Yeah.
But that's like also a really tiny, low budget Blumhouse movie. I mean, I think Joe is a real macho, director. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be perfect for Bad Boys, and hopefully he gets it. I had made calls on that and was told, sit tight, no decision yet, and then I'm told Fleming called on it, and when he heard that I was on it, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going."
Okay.
So
this is
it was ready.
This is a question I got very, very perfect for Meet the Movie Press. People were wondering why Carnahan was surprised. He tweeted out that he was surprised. He wasn't surprised. What did he say exactly?
He's like, it's news to me.
News to me. Am I surprised? Yeah. No, but news to me.
Because I don't think that he has the job yet. I think that they met with him and liked his take, and that's what I heard, what Fleming I'm sure heard too.
Okay. So what?
His headline was a circling story.
Right. Okay. So, guys, he's not doing it, and as we know with these deals, Mr. Sneider has dealt with this with Joaquin Phoenix.
Sure.
Talking, engaging, circling, whatever you want to call it.
Joaquin was like deep in negotiations,
right,
and then just pulled out.
Yeah. So this could be, when you guys were tweeting me wondering why Carnahan was, surprised somewhat, it's because
it was premature.
Yeah, it was premature. And so he's definitely talking about it, and I'm sure he's got a take. And now they're like, do you feel
Hopefully
like
they pick his take? Yeah.
When this news comes out and we talk about it on the show here and people write about it and people overwhelmingly, it sounds like, love this idea, do you think that puts Carnahan in a better negotiation?
I do.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Me too. So that's pretty awesome.
I mean, that honestly, and this, I did not get anything from his team or anything like that. But I think that is why, in general, agents and managers kind of leak things. It does give them a sort of stronger negotiating position.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a good reaction.
Yeah. It's seriously, if you put that out there, like, if we're even talking like, say, John Barenthal, a premature Punisher, and you get all that love, I mean, that obviously paints a good case for you. But I think about The Rock doing Big Trouble in Little China remake, and there was some kind of, not overwhelmingly positive, except for fans of The Rock. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Well, I'm looking at your stuff here, guys.
Should we do a hopeful news break?
Why don't we do this, guys? We are going to do a live hopeful news break. That's right, guys. I was too lazy and or busy to drop in a prompt in the Popcorn Talk Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Facebook page. However, I did get a lot of texts. You guys don't have my number, do you? A lot of tweets on your hopeful news breaks, and I'm going to try to look for some of the ones I got earlier this week. But what I want you to do, if you're listening, watching at home live right now, go on the chat room and youtube.com/popcorn talk and drop in what you want to hear about. Let's go light on the superhero Star Wars stuff, but let's hear some good ones. I've already seen 18,000 Tomb Raiders. I don't know what it is about Tomb Raiders with you guys.
Guys, there's nothing fucking happening on Tomb Raider.
Fuck Tomb Raider. I'm over it. I don't care. It's not happening. Like, it'll happen when it happens. I just don't know. Nobody knows. It's just, guys, come on, let's get something else out there. I don't care about I'm sorry. I'm going to get hate for that, I'm sure.
I know. The Mike hates female franchises.
Yeah, and that's not the case. Okay, how about this? The Crow reboot news. Colt Baudu. I want to say Baudu.
Yeah, here's the news. It's going to suck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so fucking depressed about that.
This is your baby.
First of all, have you been, like, anyone who's been following Relativity in the news, like, who knows if this movie ever gets made? What the fuck is going on over at that company?
I've just seen, nothing going.
Jack Houston, and then what's her name? Andrea Riseborough is the villain. You're telling me Andrea Riseborough is top dollar?
Who?
I'm all for, like, gender swapping and things like that, but no, I did not want to see Andrea Riseborough as the fucking villain in The Crow. Sorry.
The only thing that I was so excited about was when they were talking about what's his name? Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston was rumored.
That was for like a week.
Yeah, that was the only time I had interest, and now it's like I don't even know what to think. And his Walking Dead guy, sorry, what's his name? It's Friday really early, and I didn't sleep a wink last night. He plays Daryl on Walking Dead.
Okay, the guy who went crazy on the subway.
Did he go crazy on the subway?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, no. Oh, you're talking about Norman Reedus.
Thank you, Norman Reedus.
I apologize. I got confused, too.
I heard he has, like, a supporting role that he might be in The Crow.
I had not heard that. He would be good, though. He'd be a good thug.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, I like this. Okay, hopeful news break. 2 of them. I got Loading Bars and Greg Branscombe, Masters of the Universe. Have you heard anything?
Like, totally, like, not going forward or happening, like, in the current incarnation at all.
Okay, guys. So, a while ago, schmoesknow.com actually broke a story that Jeff Wadlow was going to direct.
Yeah.
He was writing at the time with an eye to direct. That's and it's been crickets ever since. I haven't heard anything.
I think that's stalled out.
It's stalled out. I don't know if they know how to crack this story because I actually have some personal investment in this because I tried to crack a story with Joel Silver Pictures and Ethan Irwin over there and Eric Olson at one point, Naveed McElhargy, and Christian Harloff. Schmoes know Christian Harloff. We all worked on a treatment. It then went over to Legendary. Justin Marks got it. It then went to Sony and disappeared like a fart at church. So I don't know.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up for that one.
Yeah, I would love to see something. Hey, how about this? You want to do a musical?
Well, sure.
Wicked, the musical movie.
Yep.
Says ASM Rant. I don't know, ASM Rant. Wicked, the musical, I think is a fantastic musical. I've heard they're making a movie. It makes sense. It's a very popular brand, very popular play. Any news on there?
Nope.
No hopeful news. No hopeful news.
That's something that Mark Platt has been developing since I got to LA, I feel like.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Into the Woods did okay this past year. Les Mis. So it makes sense as one of those sort of holiday musicals. I just, they're taking their sweet time doing it.
Okay.
I don't know who would be like a good fit for it.
I don't know. I mean, I think you have to cast at least cast Idina Menzel.
I'm not a big traditional
Adele Kazim. Yeah,
I'm not a big traditional musical guy. I dig musicals, but if there's like a kind of edgy approach to them,
yeah.
But the standard format. Where everyone bursts into song randomly. I'm like, well, how do they all know what they're singing here?
You and Tom Hanks.
Did they practice this?
Man, Tom Hanks doesn't like musicals. He was on like not Carson. He was on like Leno or something.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and the last one, and I missed your handle there, but any news on hopeful news on it? Do we have another director coming around? Are you working on something?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Honestly, every time I ask, like, oh, who's replacing Fukunaga? They're just like, oh, that's dead. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like going to be going like at the end of summer with a new director.
Okay.
And like this, I think that's getting a total reconfiguration.
Oh, that sucks. Well, not a lot of hopeful news there, guys.
But there was some.
Everything is shut down. Not happening.
Sorry, gang. It's a bummer hopeful news segment today.
Yeah.
Speaking though of it and Stephen King,
yes,
I teased something on last week's show, and
then you dropped it,
and then kind of sacked up and did it last week.
I love it.
Showtime was not happy.
Okay.
But my sourcing was a lot stronger than it was when I teased it on last week's show.
Right.
So yeah, from what I'm hearing, the plan is they're going to take those. I think Josh Boone had tweeted like a photo of like this huge binder of material for The Stand, and he's talked in interviews about doing 4 films based on Stephen King's epic classic novel.
Yep.
From what I hear, the plan is to do like an 8-part miniseries on Showtime, and then that would like culminate in a big movie, whether it's 2 hours or 3 hours.
I love that, and it correct me if I'm wrong, this sounds like what they were trying to do with The Dark Tower over at HBO and Imagine with Ron Howard.
Right. I mean, I think that this is an easier concept to digest as far as like a multi-platform,
and not a bunch of books.
Right. It's a chance to get A-listers on a TV series. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, come do this 8-part series. It's an ensemble thing, so
why not?
You're not gonna have to carry the like a whole TV show or anything,
right? And
then you have a big Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah, it worked for True Detective. You got A-listers there, and it was TV.
Right.
Which, by the way, a lot of people are asking about True Detective season 2.
Yeah, I can get into that if you guys want. Sure.
I've seen a lot, so why not drop a little bit of awesome on that if you have it?
So the embargo lifted at midnight this morning, I suppose, or last night.
Sure.
Hollywood Reporter put out its review at 9.
Okay.
Because technically that's midnight on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I took that as I interpreted the embargo the same way and let loose on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I taped a What's the Deal with True Detective, so you'll see that next week.
Nice.
But the long and short of it is I saw 3 episodes and I really liked them.
Okay.
It is a totally different show than the first season.
Great.
It is a much more conventional approach to the crime drama. It's a little bit more straightforward. There are some flashbacks, but it's not like dependent on flashbacks the way the structure of the first one was. They got a ton of shit about casting and it was very undeserved because the casting is pretty fucking spot on.
There you go.
Colin Farrell is awesome as just kind of like this, troubled, world-weary cop with a past, and Vince Vaughn is also really, really good. I know a lot of people had their doubts about him.
Right.
But yeah, Nick Pizzolatto wrote this for him, and it's a totally different character than we've seen from him, and I've really enjoyed it. I don't want to call her a weak link yet. I don't necessarily believe Rachel McAdams as like a tough talking sort of cop. I think she's been harmed by men in the past and won't take any shit going forward. But I mean, still, some of the lines are a little hammy. Like, I think Hollywood Reporter's review or Variety, I forget which one it was just saying like things are a little forced this time around. Okay. But I think it's really interesting. It's still just as dark, almost too grim, but I'm totally on board. I really liked it.
That's great. So, guys, I see you asking there on the live chat. Yes, Rachel McAdams. A lot of people were asking. How was Rachel, says Jord, and I wouldn't call that a decision that she's bad. I would call that a let's keep watching.
We've only seen like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to her character.
Sure.
And I'm really just talking about one or two scenes where she kind of has to adopt that tough girl kind of stance, and you're just not totally buying. I mean, she's small. She's small in stature, and so I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I think it's really cool. Justin Lin is not Cary Fukunaga.
No. I said that really mean.
It's like
no.
It's just
He's
like
good.
a different approach. It's more in the vein of like a Michael Mann. It's like, imagine if Michael Mann. Well, it's not stylized like a Miami Vice, but
Or
imagine a Michael Mann crime drama kind of thing.
No, that makes sense. I like it. I can't wait. I'm gonna watch it. And I know probably everyone in here. Wow, we got a lot of people watching too. Everyone in here wants to watch it, and I'm very excited. So I wanted to get your opinion on something, and it's kind of, I'm changing just a little bit. It's posters, and it's going back to Marvel. Okay. And I was really enjoying some of the posters for Ant-Man.
Yeah, yesterday's Avengers style posters. Right?
Yeah, and then they did something that I thought was is not helping women in film and or Black Widow. They have the poster of Ant-Man standing on Black Widow's ass. I mean, come on.
I actually did not see that one.
That's
I only
a new
saw, one. Did Marvel release that, or did some fan like put that shit together?
Maybe I was hoodwinked. Let me see.
I'd be a little
Black
surprised if Marvel did that
poster. Maybe I was hoodwinked because if no, hold on. Not Ant-Man. It's Ant-Man. I don't know if it's... Yeah, nothing's popping up in the searches.
I saw the hammer and the shield and then Iron Man.
Maybe it was. Maybe I got hoodwinked. But I'm hoping that isn't true, because that would really set you back.
I like the sense of humor, though, that was conveyed in those posters.
Absolutely.
And it was a fun way of kind of acknowledging that, Paul Rudd is going to be part of the Avengers.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that wasn't a... Guys, if you're on the live chat, and can you school Riley and tell me if I'm fan art, fan made, thank you.
There you go.
Okay, good. You
Mystery
guys...
solved.
Oh, God. Live on air, Riley gets hoodwinked. Fuck it, we do it live. All right, so let's.
There's more stuff going on though with Ant-Man. So Marvel is going to do a.
Yeah.
I messed this up when we initially posted. I said that they were going to put the first 6 minutes of Ant-Man in front of Jurassic World. That is not the case. It is a 6-minute extended look.
Okay.
So it's like a trailer that's double the size.
Okay.
Which is funny for Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And it's very smart. I don't know how Marvel worked this out with Universal or with IMAX or whatever, but like brilliant move, obviously, to really promote that movie in front of Jurassic World, which is going to have one of the biggest openings this summer. It's looking at about 125 million, I think, this weekend.
Yep.
Maybe Marvel is a little nervous about Ant-Man, and they felt like it could use this kind of boost, but either way, I think everyone is going to benefit. Even more people will show up to Jurassic World. at least in IMAX with that elevated ticket price, hoping to get an extra look at Ant-Man.
Yeah, and I don't see how they could be nervous. Maybe they're still worried about the Edgar Wright departure and the bad.
No,
it's Marvel.
Guys, the general public does not give a fucking
Exactly.
shit who directs these movies. This is our little bubble.
That's right.
No one's going into Ant-Man being like, oh, this is a Peyton Reed film. I wish it was Edgar Wright. Like, they
Boy,
just
the
want
guy
to see...
that did the breakup doesn't have any right to be here. Yeah, it's a Marvel movie for the general public, which, as we know, Guardians of the Galaxy killed. And nobody knew who the hell they were. Yep. Ant-Man, I would argue, is a bigger name.
I think Ant-Man's going to do well, man.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the schmoes have a bet. Makuga and Christian have a bet that, like, Ant-Man's going to, like, open... Makuga thinks it's going to open under $40 million, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah, no, I very much disagree.
Yeah, it's going to open big.
If it did open under 40, though, you might be looking at a situation akin to Tomorrowland.
Thank you. Let's go right into that.
Hollywood Reporter finally went there this week, saying it's going to lose, about 120, 140 million. And honestly, I might say that those are conservative estimates.
I think so too.
I was like surprised looking at Box Office Mojo. The movie has grossed, I think, 170 million.
Is that worldwide?
It costs like 180 plus 150 in marketing.
See, the marketing got me.
You're looking at like a $330 million price tag, and then it's made half that, and then you're splitting, maybe it's 55, 45 or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're basically splitting that number in half with the theaters.
Yeah.
So this is a huge fucking write-down for Disney, which is no wonder why they pulled the plug on Tron 3, because it's just not the right time to gamble.
Oh, that's a good call. And there you go. I'm sad that it didn't do well. Because I feel like, and I wrote an article at the Shout Factory about shoutfactory.com about #1 movies, and I said,
write for Shout Factory?
Yeah, I do freelance.
That's great. Yeah, I really like those guys. That's cool. I didn't know that about you.
I'm working on a new article. It's horror themed, so I hope to have that up sometime next week. So I'll plug it.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go continue.
No. But I said in my article that Tomorrowland is the closest thing we have to an original movie. I know it's Disney themed theme park, somewhat branded with the name Tomorrowland. You think the land and Disney. Mm-hmm. So I was very excited and hopeful that it was going to do well, and it looked good. And then I just don't think people could wrap their head around it on word of mouth and reviews just didn't help.
Did not. The marketing was not good, and it's because they did. But it's not the marketing's fault.
No,
it's that the marketing. There was nothing to sell. There's no story. There's no hook. You can't describe the movie in one line.
Yeah, and I'm wondering where did that money go for marketing? Because I understand when I see cups
it was everywhere. I felt like
trailers. I mean, I just saw posters and trailers. When I think of marketing too, kind of further is like cups and Coke cans.
That's advertising tie-ins.
And that's advertising tie-ins, sure. So, yeah, it's a big bummer. Do you think this is going to impact it more so like, sequels, reboots, prequels?
I think it was a blow for original film, but I don't think it's like indicative of audiences not wanting original movies.
Yeah,
I think audiences are desperate for original movies. It just wasn't this one.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and the other big problem with Tomorrowland, which I have noted before, is that first of all, George Clooney is not a draw. He's never been a box office draw. Let's be very clear about this. Mm-hmm. He can open Ocean's movies with everyone else in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. He is not a traditional movie star who will open your movie to 20 million or more the way Denzel will. Okay. And even then, this is not the George Clooney that anybody likes or wants to see. He's like gruff and, having a romance of sorts with a 10-year-old.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It wasn't the way we want to see our George.
Yeah. I liked Tomorrowland. I am on record saying I liked it. I still... There's something kind of stopping me from going back in to watch it again to kind of get everything, because it's got some interesting things going on there, but I just don't want to go back and spend the money, and there's other movies I want to see, so I'm going to revisit it on DVD probably. But it's sad. I wish it did something better. I wish I saw. Brad Bird is just so good. I just love him, but I think this one got away from him, and people are kind of banging the Damon Lindelof drum, saying that he screwed up yet another movie. No, not him.
That's a committee thing. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about some trailers really quick, and then there's some plugs and shout outs I want to do at the end of the show, but we have about 10 minutes left.
Let's do it.
Did you see? Did you or didn't you not see the Lance Armstrong trailer?
I did not get to see it. I saw it. It's going up on our site. I'm going to see it.
Ben Foster plays Lance Armstrong. He really looks like him in some shots. I think that movie looks really cool. It's from Stephen Frears.
He's great.
Yeah, who can be a really good director at times. Not when he's doing things like Lay the Favorite. I think that was him. I think.
Which one?
Lay the Favorite with the Bruce Willis, Rebecca Hall gambling movie. It was
I didn't see it.
A horrible piece of shit if that was him.
Oh, good.
But the program looks really cool. Chris O'Dowd looks like he's got a very juicy kind of role. What else came out this week? The Martian.
Yeah.
Matt Damon. I
liked the trailer. I was saying off air that you didn't need to show me that much. We actually touched on that a bit last night on the main show. I get it. It's Castaway on Mars, but when they got into the science, and then all of a sudden you kind of got the thrust of the film somewhat with what Matt Damon's doing, I was like, pump the brakes. I've seen enough. I'm going to see it.
A teaser might have been nicer than a full trailer there.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I think it looks really good. I mean,
am I going to see it? Hell yeah!
What a cast!
It's a great cast.
It's Interstellar plus Donald Glover.
Yeah, right. And I really am rooting for Ridley Scott to get back to that. Because I don't feel like
he has 2 movies this fall. I didn't even realize that.
What's the other one?
God, he moves so fast.
I know this guy's not slowing down.
Oh no, wait,
The Martian.
No. He has one. I'm sorry.
Oh, are you thinking
he produced Concussion?
Oh, right.
That's
yes.
Peter Landsman.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Which I cannot wait for Concussion, by the way. That seems so interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, so The Martian was great. What other trailers came out? Did
you see the Zootopia trailer for Disney?
No.
It was fun.
Oh, I didn't see it. Well, that wouldn't miss me because I like that. I'm interested in that story.
It was kind of like a weird trailer. It was like Jason Bateman kind of explaining that this is set in a world of anthropomorphic. Is that the word?
Anthropomorphic? I don't know who that is.
It was where animals talk and wear pants. They wear clothes, that kind of thing. But
my God.
It looked like a cute movie, fun sense of humor. We saw Bill Murray in Rock the Casbah trailer. Did you see that?
I missed that. I'm missing a lot.
You're missing
guys.
all the fun trailers.
I know.
Man.
I've been doing a lot of other things.
I don't know about Rock the Casbah, but it does look like a fun role for Bill Murray at the very least. I think we had talked last week about the Bridge of Spies poster, right?
Right. How'd you like that trailer?
Right. The trailer came out
after.
As soon as we got out of the show.
Yeah.
I actually thought the trailer looked really good.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, the poster. We were pretty down on the poster because it's a floating head with, sure.
You can do better for Steven.
You can do better for Steven and Tom Hanks, but man, that trailer is awesome.
Yeah, I definitely dug it.
This is one of those movies where it's like an all-star. I mean, the fact that the Coen brothers wrote this, I mean, just ridiculous.
It's all of Steven's strong points. You get a war movie, you get a courtroom movie. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you're getting some Amistad, and then you're getting some Saving Private Ryan, and then you got Tom Hanks. It's going to be great. So I cannot wait.
Did we talk about Everest trailer last week? I think we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was a good one.
The last one. Did you see the Will Ferrell A Deadly Adoption trailer?
No.
His the Lifetime fake movie that's coming out with him and Kristen Wiig or whatever.
I gotta guess what I'm doing today? Watching trailers. Yeah. I can't wait.
It looks like kind of goofy fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's fun. Well, that's a lot. What else? Forgot about Star Wars. No, guys, it's Star Wars.
We're taking a week off of Star Wars.
Yeah, if you want to talk Star Wars, I was on AMC Jedi Council yesterday with Tiffany Smith, Mark Ellis, and Christian Harloff. That's a shameless plug.
Actually, I think.
Wait.
Okay, I can give you a tidbit.
Okay.
I can give you one tidbit that I heard in passing this week.
Nugget. Here we go, guys. Get
Nugget. So I know we've all heard the rumor about Matthew Vaughn and Jon Favreau being sought to replace Josh Trank on the second anthology movie. All I know, I found out a director who took a meeting on it.
Okay.
Very interesting name. Are you ready?
Yes.
Michelle MacLaren.
Ooh.
I heard Michelle MacLaren met on the Star Wars anthology movie.
Guys, are you familiar with that name? Do you know that name? It's a kind of... I would say she's a Wonder Woman, wouldn't you? Of a director.
Sure.
Guys, Michelle MacLaren left Wonder Woman and is now meeting, apparently, speculatively.
I think that would be so she hasn't lined up another feature, has she?
Not that I've heard of.
Yeah, I think that would be a weird first movie for her, especially if they were reluctant to go down the line with Trank or whatever.
Yeah.
Although obviously two totally different people.
Right.
But yeah, that was the tidbit that I heard. She had a meeting.
That's
She had
great.
a meeting with a bunch of people.
Yeah, and
I just like that Disney's at least, considering female filmmakers. So
I love that. And by the way, we had heard that Vaughn no longer really...
He's not going to go for it?
No,
Okay.
not going to happen. Yeah.
Speaking of female filmmakers, Elizabeth Banks lined up a new directing job at Universal. Doesn't really matter what it is. I just think that it's interesting that they want to keep her in the fold after Pitch Perfect 2.
Right.
Another win.
Yeah, for female directors. And that was, I've heard, I haven't seen Pitch Perfect 2 because
big hit this summer.
It's a big hit. They're getting a sequel, right?
Yep.
And Pitch Perfect 3, which I've been on. I am not a fan of that series.
I didn't see the new one.
I didn't either, and because I couldn't,
but I think
couldn't
I
get
will.
through part one.
I'll watch the rent. I'll rent it.
Okay. I might rent it. So
let's see. There was a couple of other things I wanted to hit upon. I mean, was there anything on your list? Or
I think we talked about a lot of the good stuff that's in my that was on my radar. I will mention real quick, guys, a really kind of cool, fun reality thing that's happening that I didn't get to plug in the middle here, but from our very own AfterBuzz TV founder and E host is Maria Menounos and Julianne Hough are doing Dancing with the Stars. They're doing a special Dance Battle America. So during the holiday seasons over the last 2 years, Julianne and Maria, they've been doing these dance videos, and now celebrities are doing it, and it's like social media. So guys, you can now do this. So if you guys have like dance moves, go to dancebattleamericacasting.com and you can be on the latest new reality show with Maria and Julianne, and maybe you'll get up there. And
I might sign up. I got some moves myself.
You got some moves?
I have
Maria wicked moves.
Wicked,
man! I got some wicked moves, man. I can just get up there and just dance.
I bet you could do the worm, huh?
I can. No, I can't do that.
Okay, no, neither can I.
I cannot do the worm. I can dance. I can swing dance.
We can dance if we want to.
Yeah. So guys, go to www.dancebattleamericacasting.com if you want to join in and submit yourself and join this new reality show. It sounds pretty cool. So that's a plug.
Quick bullets. Some plugs for Love and Mercy. I saw the Beach Boys movie. That was really good.
Yeah.
Paul Dano, John Cusack, excellent dual performance as Brian Wilson.
Yep.
We saw Stephen DeKnight, right? No. I'm sorry. I confused that. Stephen DeKnight joined the Transformers writers' room or whatever.
Right.
But the thing I was intrigued was Daredevil's Marco Ramirez, who is taking over for Stephen DeKnight as showrunner of season 2, is resurrecting Akira at Warner Brothers.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I'm not, again, Akira, I missed
never
Akira.
saw the Japanese manga either.
Me neither.
But it always seemed like an intriguing property over at Warner Brothers. I was surprised when it kind of died on the vine when it went pretty far.
Yeah, it did.
So I every Daredevil episode that I watched that I really loved, I kept noticing Marco Ramirez's name. Never met the guy. He strikes me as a pretty exciting talent. So that's a good get for Akira.
Absolutely. And as we know, Daredevil and now Punisher, and I mean, that is just one of the best shows I've ever seen. I'm so happy for this. and Akira now, gets me interested if what you're saying is happening. So
likewise, Marion Cotillard seems like a good get for Brad Pitt in his Robert Zemeckis movie.
And is this the movie? No. It's different. Never mind.
Pitt has another movie that just got picked up by Netflix, War Machine. He's going to be playing McChrystal.
But isn't that interesting that Brad Pitt is actually going to Netflix?
A huge get for Netflix.
Netflix, the game is changing, man.
It really is.
This is huge. We got. You don't get a bigger star than Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he just found himself with a slot, and he's like, "What am I going to do?" And it's just Netflix. They make shit. They're not like developing. Yeah. They're not, like some of these projects would just stay in development at studios. Netflix is like, all right, we got Brad Pitt. He's available for a couple of months. Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's great. I'm excited. I'm so glad. It's the best $6.99 I pay a month. Yeah. I'm serious. Netflix is the best thing you could ever buy, I guess.
I know we're running out of time here, so really quick,
I
wanted to salute Ray Subers, who left Box Office Mojo. He's going to be taking a job in international distribution at Paramount.
Wow.
So he crossed the barrier.
He did.
From one of us to one of them.
Wow.
Hats off
Congrats.
to Ray Subers. We will miss his analysis.
I didn't know that, but that's a good landing.
Friend
there.
of Meet the Movie Press, Jermaine Lucier, just announced that he is leaving Slash Film.
Yeah, Jermaine.
To go to IO9.
Yeah.
And we wish him well. He's always been a good friend of ours.
Yeah, that Slash is losing a good one there.
Yeah, that's a tough blow, but I'm sure Peter will find a very cool new voice to somehow try and fill those shoes.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to also give props to Meet the Movie Press guest Drew McWeeny.
Yeah.
Who's been doing a really fucking fascinating sort of essay of sorts about his 25 years in Los Angeles. It's like a multi-part series. So definitely go and check that out at HitFix.
Yep.
I'm still doing the fantasy movies. If you go to fantasymovieleague.com, try to do like that fantasy box office stuff. I'm writing a weekly column, just sort of how you should program your theaters, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So join a league there with myself and Matthew Berry, who's the fantasy guru at ESPN, and that's all I got this week.
That's nice.
It's a good week.
That's a good week. And guys, I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com, and Jeff. I haven't even. Sorry.
Jeff Sneider, film reporter, TheWrap.com. Find me there. Find me on Twitter at @TheInSneider.
Yes, and you can find me at Riley Around, and I plugged it. Hopefully next week on ShoutFactory.com, you'll be able to see a special horror article editorial that I'm writing. It's a lot of fun. I've been working on it for a while. And guys, next week we hope to have another guest in, but I always enjoy just the two of us shooting the shit.
Okay.
And we hope you guys liked it too. Please rate, subscribe, tell your friends about this, and check out all the shows on the Popcorn Talk Network. You got them all, including the main show every Thursday at 6 p.m. PST.
Outro music.
Any outro music?
Outro music.
And I'm hearing that Jeff Sneider is going to be coming on the show next week.
Yes, I will be on the main show for Schmoes Know. They're having me back. It's only going to be my second time.
It's about frickin' time.
I'm looking forward to mixing it up with Christian and Mark and the gang.
All right. So that's us for Meet the Movie Press. We will see you next Friday. Have a good one.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners and principals.